This is the second lesson in statistics. مرحبا بكم في قناتكم Simple Math for You. وهذا الدرس الثاني في من دروس الإحصاء وهو تمثيل البيانات. This lesson is talking about representing data. And in this lesson we have two parts. The first part is we are going to present the data in dot plots. It's very clear why we are calling it dot plot. Because in this diagram, we are going to show the frequency of data in terms of dots. Frequency of data يعني عدد تكرار رقم معين أو عدد معين. So how can we do that? First, we are going to write the data points in order from least to greatest. And by the way, you can present the data without doing this step, but it helps you not to miss any number. To make a number line that starts at the least data point and ends at the greatest data point. So we have to order the data on the number line so that we don't miss anything, starting from least and the greatest until the greatest. Then plot the dots on the number line, stack the point, يعني نحطهم فوق بعض when there is more than one data point within the same number. If appropriate, include a label for a number line and title to show what is this talking about. What is this plot talking about? Let's have a look on this dot plot. As you see, we have here set of data, and they were not arranged from least to greatest. Step one, arranged them from least to greatest. Even if you have many numbers repeated, we have to include them in this list. Then we realize that the least is 9, the most is 15. So we are going to choose a number line that's starting from 9, ending 15. And we are going to distribute the number line or divide the number line equally, choosing a good scale, not necessary to be equals to 1. You can choose even 9, 11, 13, whatever. But in this case, it's okay. And it is a proper scaling. As you see here, even if number 10 was not found here, but we have to keep into account that it should be existing here to show that there is a gap between number 9 and 11. And then we can include a label. For example, if we know what is this data show, or what does this represent, we can show this is number of students, number of whatever, number of scores or scores of students. Then we will have an idea here about what number is repeated. For example, we can count here. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 15s, and actually this is okay. As you see, it's a good organization of data and makes clusters and gaps more obvious here. Okay, let's try to do it our own here. We have here a table of data showing the number of books read. So let's see here, how can we make a dot plot? By the way, presenting data is good in our real life so that we can have right decisions. We can realize how data are distributed. يعني تنظيم البيانات مهم جدا في حياتنا حتى نعرف ناخذ قراراتنا بناء على تكرارها، بناء على الأعداد الموجودة، الخطة الحالية والخطة المستقبلية. So let's start here. As you see here, we have the minimum number is 3. I'm not going to arrange them from least to greatest because I feel that it's easier to keep them like that. This is the least and this is the most. So we can have here a number line. Let's keep it a little bit lower. This is number line. And we can start our number line by 3 using the scale 1. We don't have more than 8 here. And let's start. Now 3 is repeated once, so we will put 1 dot. Then we have here 4. We have 1, 2, 3 fours, so we'll put 1, 2, 3 fours. Finish. We have now 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. let the dot be a little bit darker and big so that we can realize that it is there. And then we have no 6, we have 6, 1, 2, 2, 6, 2, oh, 6 is repeated twice. No 7s at all. We have here 1, 2, 3, 8. So here 1, 2, 3, 8. Let's make sure that we have copied. This is 5. Let's make sure that we have copied all the numbers. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we have here 15 elements. 5 times 3, we have 15 elements. That's it. This is dot plot. We can choose here the title or the label, number of books read by students. Okay. Number 2, quiz scores. Represent the quiz scores as a dot plot. Scale the number lines as needed. As you see here, this is different than the previous example, because in the previous example, the data range was limited. The range is the greatest minus the minimum data, أو the greatest minus the smallest. عدد الأرقام بينهما قليل من 3 ل 8 كلها 5 أرقام أو 6 أرقام مجموعهم كلهم. لكن في هالحالة in this case we have lots of numbers in between. We have here the minimum number is 21 as I see here, and the maximum number is the 50. And if you divide them 1, 1, 1, it will take long time, and if it has a bigger space, it needs bigger space. So we are going to divide it into intervals, إلى فترات أو فئات. So what are we going to do? We can divide our number line in this case. We can say that we have the minimum number here is 20, so you can start from 20 to 29.9, means all the 20s will be included over here. Next, 30 to 39.9. Next, 40 to 49.9. Then 50 to 59.9. Let's go. Make sure that the total number of elements is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 15 elements. We should count by the end of plotting and make sure that we have copied everything. Let's start. All the 20s we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are here to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's take another color. For the 30s, we have 38, 35, 37. We have 3. 1, 3. Let's choose another color here. For the 40s, we have 41, 42, 43, and 45. 1, 2, 3. How many? 4. And for the 50s, we have just one element, which is the 50, which is this one. Count all the dots. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have here 7, plus 3, 10, plus 4, 14, plus 1, 15. So yes, we were right. And the elements, the number of elements were correct. Okay. That's the end here. And we can label it quiz scores. We were talking about quiz scores. And it gives us an idea that the scores between 20 and all the 20s, I mean 20 and less than 30, were much more than any other marks. The number of miles Lisa jogged each of the last 10 days were the following. Choose the most appropriate type of data displays and graph the data. If we choose the dot plot, then let's draw a number line. The minimum number is 2, the maximum number is 8, so I'm going to divide it with scale 1. Almost the same, equal يعني distance. And let's count now. 2, we have only 1, 2, so 1 dot. Done. We have 1, 3. We have 1, 2 4s. And we have 1, 2 5s. We have 2 6, 1 7, and 1 8. Let's check again. We have here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. And how many dots we have here? Count them. Yes, all are there. And the label here is number of miles Lisa jogged each of the last 10 days. Okay, choose the most appropriate type. We done A, B here. This is A. How many days did Lisa jog? At least 4 miles. So this is 4 miles. At least 4 miles. So we have here, from here and above. 4 miles and above. We are going to count all the dots. Or from the original data set, you can choose 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And we will count the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 days. Lastly, finally, what was the greatest number of miles she jogged? The greatest number was 8, as it shows here. So it is 8 miles. This is the good presentation, as you see here. And let's erase this so that we can keep the order. Thank you all. This was how to represent the data, and it was about dot plot. Was it all? No, we have another way to present data. We have bar graphs and histograms. Bar graph is a graphical display that compares categories of data using bars, as you see here. These are bars, أعمدة, of different heights. Bar graphs are used when the data are discrete. Discrete means they are not continuous, مش مستمرة, مستقلة. To indicate this, there is a space between each of the bars. في مسافات بين البارز. في مسافات هنا, gaps between the bars. And this is used for discrete, يعني منفصلة للفئات اللي ما لها علاقة. Hobbies, sports, the ideas, for example, countries. While here, histogram, as you see, is very similar to the bar graph, but the difference here that they are stick to each other. They are touching each other. And usually histogram represent continuous data. Continuous, مستمرة, متصلة. And it's used for ages, for temperature, درجة الحرارة, for weight, for time. So it's the same, but only you are going to touch the bars because it should go smoothly, continuously, with no separation between them. So what are the steps to make a bar graph or histogram? First, we determine whether the data should be represented as bar or histogram. Means if the data is discrete, we are going to use a bar graph. If it is continuous, you are going to use histogram. Number 2, determine appropriate categories of bins and tally يعني number of data. Then draw bars to represent each category or bin, and you will find that it is similar to the dot plot. تشبه الدوت plot في طريقة عملها. Then label the axis, if appropriate, include a title for the graph. Let's see here. A survey was conducted among students in Mr. Dalton's science class to determine a field trip destination, وجهات الfields trips. The results are shown in the table at the right. Make a graph to display the data. Now, as we see here, there are different destinations here that has nothing to do with each other. So this is called discrete data. And for this, we are going to use bar graph. Means there will be gaps between the bars. يكون في مسافات بين البارز أو الأعمدة المختلفة. So we are going to start drawing the y-axis and the x-axis. Here, this is the Y, and this is the X-axis. On the X-axis, usually we start by X, and this is Y. On the X-axis, we are going to label it as destination, الوجهة. And the Y-axis will be number of votes. And now we are going to book a space for each bar. This will be for zoo, and we will keep a gap, and this will be for the museum. This will be for the observatory, and this will be for the state park. I'm trying my best to have them equally distributed and equal length as well. Now, as you see here, for the number of votes, the minimum number of votes is 4 and the maximum is 11. So we can here scale it by 1. Okay, let's start one by one. We will start by the zoo. Number of votes for a zoo is just 6, so I'll go up until I reach 6. And extend my bar. This is my first bar. The second one is the museum. I can use another color if you like. It is just 4, so I'll go up to 4 only, as you see here. This is the 4. And I'll close my bar. Next, we have observatory. Observatory. So here's observatory. And this was for the museum. For the observatory, we have here 11. So we will go up until we reach 11. And then, of course, it shouldn't be inclined. Last one, state park. And for the state park, it's just 7. So we'll go up to 7. Should be a little higher than zoo. And you make sure now if you extend it, it reaches 7 as you see here. Yeah, we are okay. We can shade it if you like. We can shade everything. Now all the bars can be shaded, so we can shade this one to look better. And for that one, I can shade it also. Note that I kept the gaps to indicate that it's discrete data. And as you see here, when we just look at the data, we can realize that the zoo, for example, has 7. The highest is for the observatory, and for the state park, which is the last one, we have only 7. This is a nice, as you see, bar graph. This is bar graph showing the data representation. Okay, now let's see this. In a survey, students were asked to name their favorite type of movies also. Here, of those surveyed, 8 choose action movies, so 8 used action, or chosen. 6 comedies, 5 horror, فيلم رعب يعني, 3 dramas, and 7 used or chosen science fiction. Determine whether the data are discrete or continuous. Of course, these are discrete. They have nothing to do with each other. They are different favorite movies. And that's why we are going to use a bar graph. We have to do it the same way we have done before here. So we can arrange it as type of movie here. And here we have number of votes. number of votes minimum was 3 and the maximum was 8. So we can say also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we will start. Action 8. So we will go to action. I make it smaller. This is action. And we will keep a gap. Comedies 6. Comedy. Horror 5. Should be less than that one, which is 6. Then we have drama 3. And finally, science fiction, which is 7. From here, we go up to 7. And this is science fiction. That's it. You can also shade it or color it. It's fine for us. Let's see this one. This one is a little different because it is including the relation between what? Age, attendee. It shows the number of attendees by age at a concert. So since it is age, then it is continuous. And when it is continuous, we are going to use histogram. Remember, age, time, temperature, all of these, we are going to use histogram. So we are doing the same thing exactly, but we are going to make the bars touching each other, stick the bars together. And in this case, we are going to draw the intervals as he specified here. So the first interval will be from 0 to 10, and we have to book a space for her, 0 to 10. Then we have directly after that, the next one, 10 to 20, then 20 to 30, then 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and 60 to 70. Now here we have to choose a good scale. The minimum here, we have 240. The maximum is 2,400. Now, I know that it's not so precise, it's not so accurate, but you can choose the scale you like. In our case, we are going to choose, for example, 200 scale. So I'm doing it 200 scale. Okay. Let's start. 0 to 10 is 400. So starting with 0 to 10. So from here, 0 to 10. Going up to 400. So this is the first one. Next one, 10 to 20, 1,440. 10 to 20. Going to up to little bit more than 1,400, less than the middle, because the middle is 1,500. So we are going to stop here, approximately. Then 20 to 30, sticking to that 2,000 until 2,400. So up to 2,400, it is continuous as you see. They are sticking to each other, touching each other. 30 to 40, until up to 2,000 only. Then 40 to 50. Actually here 40 to less than 50, 960. So it is up to about 1,000, little less than the 1,000. Then 50 to 60 is until 560, less than 600 little bit. Lastly, 240, it is 60 to 70 years until 240, little bit more than 200. And as you see here, less number of attendees is from the last, or the actually the oldest, which is 60 to 70, aged 60 to 70, just only 240. And the maximum number of attendees is this one, which is the young people from 20 to 30. This was how to present data using histogram and using a bar graph, and at the beginning using the dot plot. I hope that this lesson was interesting for everyone. Thank you all and see you in the next video. شكرا جزيلا لكم وإلى اللقاء.